What's up, folks? History Before Us here. Frederick Murphy, your host, and I am back in High Point, North Carolina, which is a stone's throw from where I live, which is Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had the privilege of taking a tour on a bus with this young lady. When we did that? Last year?
No, this was back in March.
It was March of this year.
Yes.
Yeah, so March of 2026. And I'm glad to be here with you.
Well, thank you so much for coming back.
I'm going to do the big reveal here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Phyllis, what's up, sister?
Good morning.
Give me a hug.
Thank you so much for coming back.
This is what we do.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming back to High Point. And I guarantee you after today it won't be your last time.
No, this is it. We're family now, y'all. And so one of the places that I do like filming you all is cemeteries, because I think that they're just so interesting as it relates to the different types of headstones and the ways in which individuals have honored their ancestors or what have you. And so Phyllis actually did you write this book?
I co-wrote it with my friend Linda Willard.
Yep.
And this book contains a lot of information about the colored section of this cemetery.
Yep, Oakwood Cemetery, and that's where we're at right now. But first, before we get started on that, Phyllis, tell people about the tour.
The tour, we will have a tour coming up on Saturday, June the 6th. It's going to be a walking tour telling the history of the colored section in Oakwood Cemetery here in High Point. So the tour will start at 10 o'clock, run about an hour and a half, put on your walking shoes, and come out and get that knowledge.
And where can people find, not only if they can't make it June 6th, because hopefully I have this posted by then, but where can people find how to book your tours? Because there's more than one, y'all. She has a couple of them.
This particular tour is free and open to the public. You will have to drive out in your own vehicle. We can't bring the bus in here. It's a little too big.
Right.
But for our other heritage tours, you can just go to the website, www.yaacm.com to book the Heritage Trail Tour, the John Coltrane Tour, and I'm working on one more piece.
That's what's up, y'all. She's so dynamic. I love it. So we're right now at the White Cemetery.
Yes.
Right, at the white section of the cemetery, if
the
you
white
will.
section.
Now, I saw signs of High Point everywhere on my way in. Is this on the property of High Point University?
No, this is not on the property of High Point University. This is owned by the city of High Point. Okay. And the university is just kind of building around it.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so I just want to show you all the scope right here. And we're about to get to walking to where we came here for, right? But first, what about this section? And how historically has the division of cemeteries been in this country?
Oh, it's been from day one. I mean, even in death, we were separated. This cemetery was founded in 1859, the same year that the city of High Point was founded. And right off the bat, they needed a cemetery. So this one was created. So we are now in the oldest section of this cemetery. So all the tombstones, the mausoleums, the markers, these are the early founders of High Point. They also realized that they needed a section for us. During that time, we were referred to as colored. That was one of the names. So they created a spot for us back here in the corner, and we call it the colored section. And it is the final resting place for quite a few of High Point's early black settlers. In 2017, my organization was instrumental in having a historical marker installed. And we had a nice celebration to recognize and remember the early black settlers of High Point.
Okay, good. And so you said that was 2017 that happened?
2017.
And as I'm looking over here, we see that there's also a Confederate section as well.
Yes,
right there.
There is.
So we're right next to each other?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Was there ever a wall here that separated the two?
There isn't a wall, but if you look, you will see a line of pine trees.
Right. I do see that.
I have asked about that. Was that done intentionally? I have never gotten a straight answer on that. The answer that I did get didn't make sense at the time. because of the age of the trees. So I'm going to say they were put there to represent that division.
Okay, I got you. And boom, here we are, April 21st, 2017. That's what's up. How was it that day when people came out?
Oh, it was awesome. I took a chance. I'm always taking a chance with Yalik. We had the unveiling on a Friday at lunchtime because I wanted to make sure that city officials were able to come out during their lunch break. But we probably had close to 75 people to come out. We had a guest speaker, Mr. Earl Imes, who's in Raleigh.
He's for sure. I'm familiar with Earl.
Yep, he works at the History Museum. He was our guest speaker. We had a couple of people to come out to do an African dance to open up the ceremony. We had chairs spread out here on the asphalt for people to sit down. And we conducted a ceremony on a Friday. And one person in particular who I was so happy to have out was a descendant from Annie Pierce, and they live right up the street in Winston-Salem.
Okay, that's what's up. So give us the full scope of the people that are here, the research that you've done to go along, of course, with the book. What are some things that kind of stood out to you that you were just like, wow, that's pretty amazing? Because we know that areas around here, Durham, Greensboro, Charlotte, Raleigh, you know, from a historical perspective, those are, you know, the areas that may get a little bit more attention. Wilmington, you know, but High Point also has its good history, right? So go into some of that, and what are some of the interesting things that you found here?
A lot of our history pretty much runs parallel with the history in other cities like Durham and Charlotte and Greensboro. We, when I first came across this cemetery, well, I didn't even know about this cemetery. I'm a native of High Point. An older gentleman by the name of Lawrence Graves, his grandfather is buried here. He's one of those early black settlers here in High Point. And he told me about this section. And I was like, I've never heard of this cemetery. Because I was thinking he was talking about the second cemetery that we have. He said, no. And he told me how to get here. And at this point, I had already started researching our black history, the early black history. And when I got out here, it was like the who's who of High Point. So I immediately recognized the names of a lot of the people here.
Okay. From a surname perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the one thing I can give High Point credit for is maintaining this section.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Because so many black cemeteries across this country, they look like landfills.
Yeah.
They're overgrown, the trees and the weeds have taken over, but the city of High Point did a good job of maintaining this section. So we're kind of like where we are. We're not kind of. High Point's black history is like a hidden gem. And we have only scratched the surface. So my main focus for my research has always been the cemetery. This is where everything started as far as our history journey.
For sure. That's good. So can we walk the grounds, and can you tell us and show us where some of these family plots are and some of the influential leaders and things like that here?
Sure.
I used to, it's not that I didn't like coming to cemeteries when I was younger, of course, just because, you know, it represented, to me at the time in my young mind, it represented the end, right? But, you know, then you sit back and you think about what all these people did in between life and death.
Yes.
That gray area, right?
Yes.
That you fill in with all the stories and the narratives and the accolades and things like that. So now I appreciate cemeteries just because, for one, from a genealogy standpoint, you can cover your whole family history in a cemetery.
You sure can.
You know, if it's documented correctly. But then more importantly, knowing that these people were good stewards in their community and they're at their final resting place. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Myself and the other co-author of this book, Linda Willard, we are very comfortable. We are very familiar with this section.
Yeah.
So when I was introduced to it, I immediately told her about it. She wasn't aware of it. So we came out, And just by knowing the history of black cemeteries, I felt like there was more people here than what we actually saw, meaning going by the names of the tombstones and the markers, especially in this section here where it's a little bit more bare. So I just assume it probably was the paupers section. Around 2019, the city of High Point obtained a grant to do a GPA study, and that is where you can come out and use this big machine, looks like a lawnmower with big wheels, and it will read the ground, and it can tell you where the bodies are buried, if it's a body, it may be a tree, if it's an adult, if it's an infant. They came out and surveyed this entire area.
Yeah.
Now, when we started our research, we had approximately 50 names total, just off the markers. Some of them we were not able to read.
Okay.
And there's roughly 90 markers in all.
Okay. So 40 more. Okay.
But when we were given the final results of that survey, it's roughly 455 black people buried.
What?
In this section right here.
455?
455.
So we're most likely standing on graves right now.
We're standing on graves right now.
Wow.
We are. And
I mean, 50, that's 400 more people.
yes. Yes.
And so so 1859, so pre-emancipation. But there's homes that are around here. So obviously this was perhaps a black community at one point?
No, this was all wooded area.
Oh, so this was all wooded? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Back during that time, High Point, we sit at the bottom of the mountain area of North Carolina. So this was backcountry. So High Point is country.
Yeah.
A lot of this was wooded area leading to the furniture market because they saw all the wood that was here. So a lot of this was wooded area.
That they would harvest to do, okay.
At that time, the city limits for High Point was like a mile wide, north, south, east, or west from this train depot, which is downtown.
Okay.
So, yeah, this was, a lot of this was wooded area.
Yeah. Now I see this headstone right here that says Brooks. Now, if I remember correctly, there was a Dr. Brooks.
Reverend Brooks.
Reverend Brooks. And that was it a dentist or something like that?
Let me show you something else before we get to him.
Let's do it.
Now, out of those 455 bodies that are buried here, the city had some more money left over from the grant. So they had these markers installed with numbers on them.
To identify the
and
number.
it's 455 markers that represents where all the bodies are here. So a lot of these people, we will never know who they were or what they did, where they come from. And it just makes my heart a little heavy when I think about that, because I'm sure they contribute to the growth in those early stages of High Point.
For sure. Who is it that you work with often at the city? Is it a certain department that you work with on a more continuous basis to get some of these things done? Yeah,
we mainly work with the cemetery division. The gentleman who was the supervisor at that time, Brad Emery, was a history buff.
Okay,
so
good.
That was just awesome for us. He helped maintain the section, made sure the grass was well kept. They even planted 2 trees in honor of myself and Linda Willard for all the work that we've been doing. So he and his team were being educated as well.
Yeah.
They were even familiar with some of the people who was buried here. So we work closely with the cemetery division.
Bodies here. How did that make you feel when you look over there and you see everything so pronounced, but you're over here and it's obviously not so much?
Right. And during that time, they did have groundskeepers. They had one for the white section. They had someone for the colored section. But I guess over time, and then kind of right from the beginning, it was not equal.
Yeah.
Like always.
Sure.
But we do have a couple of markers that are very distinct and unique. Say, for instance, this one right here,
Ann Pitts.
Annie Pitts.
This is your girl.
This is my girl right here. Annie Pitts spoke to me the day I came out here, just to be nosy, to find out who's out here. What struck me about this particular granite is that it looks new. Now I'm like, okay, if this was founded in 1859, she was buried here in 1841, why does this marker look new to me? This pretty charcoal granite. And it just spoke to me. So, and it stands out more. Yes, we do have a couple of unique tombstones and a mausoleum here, a small one. But this one, Annie was calling. She was talking to me.
Yeah.
Soon as I got home, I Googled her. She came up on Google, and it took me straight to Find a Grave.
I was about to say Find a Grave, yeah.
And voila, there Annie was.
Wow. A loyal friend and faithful servant devoted to her work to God.
Yes, 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 yes. Annie, her third great grandson lives in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
He has been following, discovering the family history since he was a little boy. So he's the one that uploaded their family information into Find a Grave. So when I found it,
wow.
this is Annie as a young girl.
Wow.
And he had it uploaded on Find a Grave. And the picture beside it is a letter that Annie and her mom received in 1878 from her grandfather, who was at the time living in Indiana. So I'm thinking, I don't have the proof.
Did he take the Underground Railroad? And
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Because people don't know that. Because, we talked about how there's so much Underground Railroad activity around here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Guilford County, etc. And he's in Indiana, so.
I'm thinking that he probably connected with the Mendenhalls, who were up here at Johnson Street and Skeet Club.
Okay.
There's a house there that is said to have been part of the Underground Railroad.
Here in High Point.
So if he was living here in High Point, I'm not for sure, he would have connected and went from High Point up to Indiana. Or I have no proof or indication that he was in Jamestown. But either way, it wasn't like going into Greensboro around Gifford College and going that way. So yeah, he would write the family letters. And
that's amazing.
Also posted on that site was an older picture of Annie. And that's her in her older years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, hold that right there for me.
So I was so intrigued with the pictures and the information that was posted. I started pulling out all the books that I could find on High Point's early history.
Yeah.
And I went to the library and found pictures, books. And the more I looked, here's a picture of Annie. She, after the Civil War, she was a domestic worker for J.L. Woodcock.
So do you think they may have paid for the tombstone?
Annie paid for the tombstone.
She paid for her own tombstone.
After the Civil War, she became a domestic worker for the Cock family. She was the nanny for their daughter, Clara Cock, who was a very prominent Quaker minister here in town.
Okay. So that's why it states devoted to her work and to God.
She, I have a copy of her will. So she had money, she had land. And from what the family has researched and discovered in some letters, the Cock family really cared for Annie and they took care of her. She had a heart condition. They even took her all the way up to Johns Hopkins Hospital to have a specialist to check her out. And I reached out to them hoping to find any information, but it's there. It was just a matter of trying to connect with the right person who could go in their archives. Wow. So
So you're gonna be making a trip, it looks like.
Yes, yes. I need to get up north a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Annie
That's
is
amazing.
the one that started everything. Now, if we go over here to Reverend Daniel Brooks, like I said earlier, I was already familiar with his name and his family, but he didn't speak to me. I guess he had other stuff going on that day. Annie is the only one that spoke out.
Okay.
And I just been hooked
Ever since.
ever since.
Yeah, I'm still fascinated by all of these. This one is number 166.
Oh yeah. And of course we're dealing more with the erosion and everything.
Yes, for sure.
So they're starting to sink in the ground a little bit further.
Yeah.
The roots have taken over. So yeah, there's quite a few people buried here.
Where's the oldest grave that we know of? As it relates to the person that was born the earliest. I mean, Annie was 1841, I saw.
I have it in here somewhere. I can't remember who that was right off.
Okay.
I'll get that information to you.
Okay.
But Reverend Daniel Brooks.
So if anyone watching has any High Point connections and you see some of these surnames, y'all got to reach out because you never know. If you got North Carolina and have some of the same surnames, you never know. They may have some ties here to High Point for sure.
Yes. Reverend Daniel Brooks was a free man of color. His mom was a mulatto. His father was a slave. And he was in the Civil War. He was on the Confederate side. A lot of people take issue with that here in High Point, but you don't know the whole story.
Talk to us.
He was a very prominent minister, very prominent and instrumental in getting the black educational system set up here in High Point. He was instrumental in getting the first black elementary school on the south side of High Point started. And he
Right here?
is right here. And the two beside him is wife number 1. I take that back. I met a descendant of Reverend Brooks about 5 years ago, and she had already done some research. So it seems like after the Civil War, before he came to High Point, he was in the Raleigh area for a little bit, and he was married. Now, we don't know what happened to that wife. So this would be wife number 2 and wife number 3.
Okay.
But he only had children by wife number 2.
Number 2.
So he had 4 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
So he's here with all his sons and his wives, but his daughters are buried at the 2nd Black Cemetery.
Okay.
Now, if we walk back here on this backside,
Let's do it.
now mind you, Daniel Brooks was in the Confederate War. His son, he had a set of twins. So his son Luther was in World War I.
Okay. He died in 1947. Pennsylvania. Private. Okay.
And if you were to go and purchase this book,
Yep. And I have a copy, y'all. She gifted me a copy.
yes, you can see this is Luther in World War I.
Nice. Luther Wilbur Brooks. They did a great job of keeping photos.
And this is another picture of him.
That's what's up.
And I didn't realize until I met Daniel Brooks' descendant that there was twins.
Okay.
And
Luther was one of those twins?
Luther and I think Milford. That was his twin.
Okay.
This is Luther's doughboy hat from World War I.
That's interesting. That's what they look like?
And it's in Charlotte.
Wow, where at?
She lives in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. So that's at her home, the private residence. Okay.
Yes. She has a lot of the family heirlooms, a lot of the books. One of Daniel Brooks's daughter had a piano. She has her piano now in her house. Interesting thing about this whole setup, there are no markers. We have one here.
Right.
And it's another one in here.
Okay.
We don't know who they are.
Right.
And
we
why
just
they're here.
just have the numbers because like right over here
Yes.
is 72. Yeah. 72.
And the young lady who's in Charlotte, when I pointed this out to her, she had no clue as to who these other two people are.
But we just know their family, of course. Listen,
Yes.
I want to give a big shout out to the city of High Point for doing this, because there's so many cities that just don't.
No.
They'll build apartment complexes over them, roads, et cetera, et cetera. So I know sometimes cities get a bad rap because of neglecting, and so forth and so on. And for the ones that do, they should be called out, for doing such. I just want to give a big shout out to the city of High Point for doing this, and you all's working relationship with each other too,
Oh, yes.
right? So,
Yes.
so a big shout out to that. In addition, consider becoming a member for the channel as well as a subscriber. Make sure that you share. This is hard work, but it's also expensive work, and so your viewership, your supers, and your membership is very helpful for me to keep this going. So I had to drop that caveat in there. A shameless plug for History Before Us. All right, so let's get back rolling.
As you can see, these are some more of the markers. And the trees have pretty much, grown up under them and around them. We have some over in here.
Yeah.
And, this one we couldn't make out the name, but we know someone's here. So there's, that we know of, at least 5 children are buried here.
Okay.
And if you understand the language of that era, of that time, you can kind of tell who may have been a slave. This one also says faithful servant.
Yep.
And that one has broken off. And so, yeah.
So the Gamble family looks like it's right here. And this is 432.
We had a storm to come through probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And they had to cut down some of the trees and then cut some of them back, which is good because, a couple of the headstones were damaged. Sad thing about it, now this area is being more exposed to the elements.
Yes.
So I've noticed that the moss has gotten a little bit stronger and really spreading. Some of the tombstones are starting to turn black now.
Yeah. Versus earlier when the trees were able to protect
Yes.
themselves. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we came out and we took pictures of every marker and identified every name before we start battling the elements.
Yeah.
Even right here, you have a couple of them. Again, the trees grew up around them.
Yeah.
Now this section right here is the Confederate section.
This section. All right. So these are the Confederate soldiers.
Yeah, we have at least 3 right here that was around this tree.
Okay.
The daughters of the Confederates, they come out here and do a ceremony once a year, and I have not been able to catch them so I could video it. They come out in their attire and the rifles, and they have a ceremony.
Yeah. You see right there the Confederate flag.
And
It's
see this,
pretty pronounced for sure.
and see this is Laura Wesson, the one I was mentioning up in at the entrance.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought she was buried back here. Now, why they duplicated back there, I'm not quite sure. They had a reason for
really
all that.
adorn her, that's for sure.
So these are some of the white men who died around the Civil War era, who were not from here. They didn't know where home was for them, so they created this section back here for them, which is right next door to the colored section.
Yeah. And it seems like there was at least some intentionality in which they did, because it's bricked up.
Yes.
Right here. Well, it separates them right here.
Yes. And if
Because
you can,
God forbid you bury dead
and
folks
if you look
in
right
peace
here,
together.
to me, I call it the line of divide, because you can see where these trees were intentionally set here, planted here for that divide. Separation of black and white. I don't care how they want to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yes.
No, that's real. Any have you spoken with any descendants of the Confederate soldiers?
No.
That were okay. Or just what about other descendants, period, that are buried here that sees the work that you're doing that are white descendants that say, hey, okay.
No, I haven't had anyone to reach out, and I would be shocked if anybody do, because you know, people still don't want to know history.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid of what skeletons may come out the closet.
At this big age they were at.
Yes. yes. It's so real. And I get that, because even with Annie Pitts, Annie had a son, Christopher, and the family have proof and the family have evidence that her son was by one of the sons of her owner. So they have proof of that. So he was one of the founders of High Point.
From old timers here in High Point that you've been able to speak to, any discussion with them about the cemetery? Like, what oral histories have you been able to gather?
The only one who was able to tell me anything, and we'll go over this way.
Okay.
The only person who was able to tell me anything about the cemetery was Lawrence Graves. Lawrence Graves was a businessman here in High Point. He dabbled in the political arena a little bit. He was a policeman on the police force here in High Point. This is his family plot right here.
Yeah, as you see right there, graves right there.
They were very prominent here in High Point. Peter Graves was a mulatto, free man of color, and he managed to get his 40 acres. And he probably had a mule and some horses and all that too. Peter Graves, from what I've heard, got his 40 acres. He probably got the mule and probably had the horses, the cows, the chicken, and everything back then, because he was a prominent man. He had money. His farm was next door to a Quaker, and they were friends.
Okay.
But Mr. Graves got word that a white gentleman had 40 acres of land that he wanted to sell. And Mr. Graves wanted that land. So he got with his Quaker friend, the farmer next door to him, and he managed to purchase those 40 acres. But Mr. Graves had his Quaker friend to sign the deed a certain way, so that when the deal was over and done with, the white man didn't realize he sold his land to a black man. So
I love it.
that is the story that I was told.
Okay, we're gonna hope that holds true.
And I do believe it, because when I spoke with Lawrence Graves and interviewed him, he showed me all the land that they had, which is pretty much from Westchester, up here by the old Westchester Mall here in High Point, on up to Main Street. If you go along that stretch, you're gonna see a few car dealerships.
Okay.
That was his land.
Okay.
So not only was he a farmer. Now I'm gonna keep going back to this.
Yeah.
This is backcountry. This is woods.
It's all woods.
It was also the hunting grounds for the wealthy who would come down from New York, Rockefellers, Biltmores. There were quite a few hunting lodges on the outskirts of High Point.
Really?
So Mr. Graves was he trained hunting dogs for them. And I have a picture of Mr. Graves here. This is saying 1919, and this is some of his hunting dogs.
That's amazing. And that's this grave that we're at right now. This is,
And this is Mr. Graves, Mr. Peter Edwards Graves.
Man, that's a little known history that a lot of people just do not necessarily know about. So now we're heading over here to Mr. Edmonson and Minnie.
Yes.
Born post-emancipation, 71 in 1875.
Jess and Minnie Edmonson. Oh my gosh, these people keep me awake at night.
Jesse and Minnie, why y'all keeping her awake at night?
We found a lot of history on Minnie, then Jess, but they did hair for white people. So Minnie would do hair for white women. Jess would do hair for white men. He was a barber. He was a free man of color. Minnie's father and grandfather were slaves in Asheboro. And the gentleman who owned them, General Gray, was the largest slave owner during that time in Asheboro.
Okay.
So after the Civil War, her family made their way to that Trinity, Archdale, Liberty area. And then Minnie ended up coming into High Point as a teacher. Now, I did a lot of research on Minnie because at the time she was talking to me. And I ended up connecting with a lady who was already researching this family history way in New Jersey. I come across a lot of happy accidents. And this lady sent me her last set of books that she had published with the history of Minnie.
Wow.
In that book, one of the books, it's like 4 books, it had Minnie's will. And in 1935, when Minnie died, she was considered the wealthiest black person in High Point.
Goodness gracious.
From doing hair just for white women.
Sure.
They owned property in High Point. They rented out houses. She had farmland that the slave owner had. She purchased it in Liberty. So I'm still trying to track down that Liberty information.
Yeah.
So anybody from Liberty, give me a call.
There you go.
So, but I kind of ran into roadblocks after that. So Linda and I, again, we felt like we had enough information.
I gotta meet Linda because y'all are a duo.
We will be meeting with Linda soon.
For sure.
She's a little under weather right now.
Okay.
She's a Quaker. She loved this section more than I do, I think. So we wasn't finding too much about Minnie after her death, but I knew it was more history than what we had. I even went to Asheboro trying to find some stuff, but
And if anyone doesn't know where Asheboro is, that's where the North Carolina Zoo is.
Yes.
Yes.
So I kept running into roadblocks with Minnie, but I said, okay, let's shift our focus and see what else we can find on Jess. Jess' family migrated to High Point. They were farmers, I think around that Wadesboro area.
Okay, Anson County.
So when he was born here in High Point. And kept digging, and lo and behold, these articles start popping up of Jess. He was a very successful barber. He would place ads in the newspaper looking for other barbers to come work under him.
Okay.
Even black barbers.
Yeah.
So that kind of...
Do we know where the barbershop may have been? Would it have been downtown?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to get the book to know exactly, but I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Exactly where the barbershop was. It was in, all these people intertwined with each other.
Okay.
So the barbershop was in the Elwood Hotel.
Okay.
The Elwood Hotel was owned by Elwood Cox, who
Are
was
you saying Cox or Cox?
Cox,
Okay,
C-O-X.
Okay,
C-O-X.
Okay, Cox. Okay.
He was the gentleman that Annie worked for.
Okay, yeah. So everyone's intertwined.
So he was a banker. He was a politician. Oops, where is
They did a little bit of everything.
A lot of these people did.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Oh,
Here
that's
we
our
go.
barbershop.
There we go.
There we go.
So this is Elwood Hotel.
Is it still standing?
No, this
building?
building was taken down, I want to say early 80s.
Oh, wow. Pretty extravagant building for sure.
So his barbershop would have been in the basement area, but probably on this side of the building.
Okay.
And Minnie had a salon at her house. And from what I read in her will and the description of her house, they had a huge, gorgeous house, and they owned an entire block. And the house sat on Willowbrook, which is now Elm Street here in High Point.
Okay.
But when we started looking into Jess more, he connected with one of the wealthy white men that came down to hunt. And he had a hunting lodge down in Archdale. And we just came across this information this year. We found the article where he went there as a guest, and I can't think of the guy's name who was the wealthy white man.
Mm-hmm.
He had a huge hunting lodge. It ended up catching on fire. I think I know where it's at in Archdale.
Okay. So, are any of these lodges that were on the outskirts of High Point, are any of them still standing that you know of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but we know where perhaps some of the locations were,
Yes,
obviously.
yes. The High Point Museum did an exhibit on the hunting lodges in this area.
Okay, good, good. Were they hunting fox?
Quail.
Quail?
I'm not quite sure.
Because I know in Tryon, North Carolina, fox hunting was a pretty big thing.
I know quail was one.
Okay.
Probably duck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it shifted the whole story of Menon and Jess. But I do believe for them to be as wealthy as they were, I can't find a picture of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a picture somewhere.
Yeah, you would think it'd be somewhere, right?
But there's more to many.
Well, look, we know that you're going to be the person to find.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, this is a very interesting one over here, and I think the last name was Taylor.
Yes. This is Emmeline and William Taylor.
You know, that's a name. Emmeline is a name back in the day that I would see often in doing some genealogy research. You don't really hear a lot of Emmelines anymore.
It's a pretty name. I
love
love
it.
it.
I like it.
So they're both buried here. I did find a newspaper article, an estate sale that she put in the High Point Enterprise, where one of her boarders, someone who would rent out a room, died, and they posted about his belongings, but no one ever came out to get the belongings. So that kind of explains where their money may have come from. They had people to come in and rent out rooms, and that was and that was the only thing I found on them.
Okay. Well, they have a nice looking resting place, that's for sure.
And I would love to know how much that cost.
For sure. For sure. So it runs all the way here to the fence. Do we think that perhaps at one point in time it was further out and the road may have?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's good to hear.
So.
That's yeah, that's definitely good to hear.
Yeah, but they did cut it close when they
for sure
put this streets through here, because there are people lined up all through here.
This is true.
This gentleman right here is another veteran, Thad Wellborn. Let's see. I hadn't looked at Thad.
World War I.
World War I.
Yeah.
So the veterans, we have Daniel Brooks and his son back here.
Yep.
We have the gentleman back here where the little flag is.
Yep.
So that's 3, 4, and the 5th one is in here somewhere.
Okay.
That we know of.
For sure. And this tour is also part of, this cemetery is also part of your tour.
Yes, our heritage tour.
Yep.
We didn't come by here the day that you came by.
Right.
Because we were a little bit pressed for time at that point.
And y'all have to check out that video too. Go through some of my videos. I'm going to have it at the end of this video, so you'll be able to just click it and say, okay, well, that was the other tour. Because you have to take that tour.
And this one is number
40.
40. But they are here.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know who these 3 people are. There's no names, but by having this stone border, chances are it was family.
Yeah. And the roots are coming up out the tree.
There was a tree here that the city cut down. I think there's a marker there. There's a couple of them around this tree. This
Robinson
is a family plot. Now,
1845, 1857, 1882, 1886, and 1884, Robinson family.
Now, let's step over here on this side so I can share a little story about the Robinsons. In particular, where's Walter? Walter Robinson.
Walter H. Mm-hmm. Was it 1874? Yeah.
Yes. Now, going back to Minnie, she was married twice. When Jess died, she ended up... Minnie Edmonson.
So that's why we have the Robinson. Okay, got you.
Minnie Edmonson ended up marrying Walter. But I guess at that point, her and Jess had already had their plot paid for and all that stuff. So this is her second husband. And as you can see, they're not buried together.
For sure.
Story goes, just by us piecing together the information that we found on Minnie from her will and the family that did the research, with the young lady, seems like when Minnie met Jess, he wanted to marry her, but Walter had his eye on Minnie. But Jess was more prominent. He was a businessman, had his own business, and her father, coming out of slavery, wanted her to marry better. So he was against Walter marrying his daughter. So she had to pretty much obey her father.
And
went with Jess. Walter, I guess, was heartbroken. He left High Point.
He had to get out.
He became, he was working for the railroad in New York.
Okay.
He was a red cap. And when he found out Jess had died,
He came chucking home.
he came and got his woman, and they ended up getting married.
Come get my boo. His prayers were answered.
Yes. So this is the Robinson family plot. Now, if you go to the High Point Museum, they have a couple of family items of Walter. There's like a little business card with his name and with red caps on it. I think that's what I saw.
That's what's up.
So there's some here.
You get some of the most interesting stories in cemeteries if you do the research.
This has been so fascinating.
I bet.
So fascinating. Let's take a visit to Henry Clay Davis.
Henry Clay Davis. Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
This is his family plot right in here. There's some more folks in here, but we don't know who they are.
Okay.
But
born 1854.
He was a free man of color.
So there's a lot of freedmen that were here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and you're noticing the same thing in the Guilford County area as well. And
yes.
so this is also another thing that I love about how diverse our history is because, you know, oftentimes there's this, people play on this act of black pain. And that's not to say when individuals were born free that they did not have any type of challenges, because they did. Because you got to think about it, at any point in time, they could have been corralled up and sent further south and put into enslavement, a situation that they had no skill set in, et cetera, et cetera. But the fuller story is that there were communities of color that were absolutely free. And we're seeing that here in High Point, and we're also identifying that right here in this cemetery. And so that's just some food for thought. Not everyone were enslaved, but, you know, it does not take away from the fact that there were still some challenges that they had to endure. Even seeing perhaps a family member that was enslaved, and you're a free person of color as well, right?
Right.
And so there's just something to think about, you all.
This is the Davis family. This is Henry Clay Davis, who was a stagecoach driver. Let me tell you about these two. So he was a free man of color. He was a stagecoach driver. He would ride his stagecoach from the Asheboro area, Archdale, right outside of High Point, on up along Main Street to the north end of High Point, around that Plank Road area, turn around and go back. From my understanding, there was a coal mine or something in Archdale, so he would take people down there to work back and forth, for just travelers or whatever. So, right here beside him is Carrie Alfred Davis, who was his wife. She was born into slavery, and she was owned by a doctor in Asheboro. So one day, when he was coming into High Point, once she was older and she was free at this point, he saw this pretty young lady, and he wanted to know who she was. So they end up getting married. And they had a son, and his son was the first principal at the first black elementary school here in High Point.
Okay.
But this family ended up marrying into the family of the Brooks family. So they're related.
They're connected.
They all are intertwined here. So here's a picture of Henry Clay Davis.
Okay.
And the same young lady who shared the information about Daniel Brooks' son, Luther being in World War I, and she has his doughboy hat. She was doing the research, and she had pictures of Henry and Carrie. Here we go.
Wow.
So there's Carrie, and she was a former slave. She was a slave as a little girl.
Yeah.
And this is them. We seem to think this picture was taken on Washington Street at their house, and the relative didn't know who the other couple was.
Man, that is pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. So Carrie was enslaved, but Henry was born free.
Yes.
Okay.
And at one point, he was appointed the keeper of the colored cemetery section. Yes.
Man.
So
And it doesn't spill over into there, right?
no.
That's still. So this is it.
that border. This is that line of divide, whether it's trees or asphalt, even in death.
Man. So Mr. Davis, Henry Davis, shout out to you for being the keeper of the grounds, brother.
So yeah, this is why Linda and I felt like we had to put this book together.
Yeah.
Because we found any and everything we could about the people that we could find just from the names. And we were able to tell these stories because of these documents, newspaper articles.
And that's why newspapers.com, shout out to y'all, is also so important and a great tool for research because it really can lead you down a rabbit hole. I can't tell you how many nights I've been up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, typing in those keywords and doing those types of things as it relates to finding information. You know, that was social media back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it was.
And so when we look at the differences in this side versus this side, they're both clean, both well maintained, but we know that there's a lot of markers, of course, that are in the ground that you can't see, that doesn't cause this, it doesn't make this side look as robust, but people are here at the tune of 450 some odd individuals.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so you all can take this tour, you know what I'm saying? And we want you to take this tour. Even though you see the video, it's nothing like being on the ground.
Right.
And that's why I tell people all the time, like, the video is just an appetizer.
Yes.
Being here in the space, you feel these spirits, you feel the presence of these individuals who contributed to, you know, humanity, that contributed to this city. And you all are just doing such an amazing job. And you are doing an amazing job. That's why I love reposting your stuff.
Well, thank you.
And coming up here, you know what I'm saying? Covering some of this unheralded history. So I wanted to show you all this real quick from the eras of slavery to segregation at a time spanning from the 1700s to the 1970s. The laws of North Carolina and many states mandated that all citizens be labeled white or colored, of course. So when the Oakwood Cemetery was established in 1859 prior to the Civil War, the quote-unquote colored section was designated as the final resting place for those enslaved and free persons of color. How proud are you?
Oh, I'm super proud.
Of yourself?
I'm super proud.
Good. Because, you know, people, we marginalize, we make ourselves small sometimes with the work that we do, right?
Well, you know what? I started out that way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what?
You got to toot your horn.
I put a lot of work into this.
For sure.
Because I need for our people to know where they came from. We need to know that. We need to know this history because we're in the present time of history repeating itself.
Yeah.
When are we going to break this cycle? We can start by learning the history.
Facts.
That's step one.
Yeah.
Linda and I, we spent years just gathering this history, and yeah, we can toot our own horn because now we have a book that's been published. This project was also part of a Emmy Award winning project by a news anchor, reporter that we had here in High Point with Fox 8, this was a catalyst for her to do a series of Black cemeteries in the Triad area.
Okay.
And she won an Emmy.
That's what's up.
And in the book here, we made sure we put her in here because she shared her Emmy with us.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Rashida Cabo.
Shout out to you, Rashida, and the partnership that y'all have.
She is now in the D.C. area doing an amazing job as a reporter, and we stay in contact. When we published the book, we sent her a copy.
So let me ask you this. You came dressed in a certain way. Why was it important for you to do this as well?
So people can get an idea of what we may have looked like during this era. It wasn't the jeans and the t-shirts and what you see now. It was the cotton dresses, you know, long sleeves to protect your arms, and being somewhat cool, and then the head wraps because, you know, that was how we dressed back then.
Minus the microphone, right?
Minus the microphone.
Look, we got to love up on our people that are doing this type of work, y'all, because this is hard work, and it's hard work.
It is.
It's not just hard work, but it's also hard work.
It is.
And you are doing an amazing job. So if you can tell people again where they can find you, why they should book the tour, and what's next? Okay,
you can find us by going to the website, www.yaacm.com. You can also go there to the website and book your tours. We have a heritage tour that gives you history beyond this group of Black settlers.
Yeah.
It focused on that Black Wall Street of High Point, that historical Washington Street district. Saturday, June the 6th, I would be doing a walking tour of this section, and you will be getting a very detailed history lesson of the who, what, why of the section, who's buried here. A little bit longer than what I gave you. Short. Yeah, it'll be a little longer than what I gave you today. But we got to get this, people. We are up against a lot right now. We can't sit and just watch no more.
No.
We have to move. We have to start strategizing, because, no, I'm not going to get into the political part, but
we picking up what you're putting down.
We got to get together.
Yeah.
We need to know this. You know, laws are being put in place. So this history, this is the only book that exists that you're going to find out, know about these people. So this is it.
Yeah.
This is the only book that exists to tell this history. We have a couple of films. Those films are the only thing that exists that gives you a broader history of Black High Point. Laws are being put in place, so we don't learn this. So the history can't be taught.
For sure.
So we have to do it on our own. We can't just sit back.
No, this is
It's time to go to work.
It's time to go to work, that's for sure. Well, listen, you all know, as I always say, if you like this type of history, please make sure to subscribe and share. And again, consider becoming a member. Your membership does matter, and it does help as it relates to putting gas in the car. As you all know right now, gas is through the roof. It'd be hard, man. I'm having to stay within an hour radius of Charlotte, you know, something I can get there on at least half a tank, you know what I'm saying? But consider becoming a member. And also, I'm gonna drop her information in the description of this, so please make sure to check that out. And also, I am going to include the previous video of the tour that we had with Phyllis and her company. So peace and blessings. It's springtime, it's summertime. If you're traveling through the High Point area, make sure to add this to your list as it relates to your history summer travels. Have a good one.